Hello and welcome everybody to another video. This time we are in Thailand, in Bangkok, ready to do some more karting, where it's all about trying to get there first and foremost. It was a little bit further along from where we were staying. We got a taxi after chasing it down, and here we were in a colourful reception building, ready to rock. And yeah, lots of colours. You can see in this briefing room as well. I was raring to go, and you can see this place looks absolutely epic. Even though I did my sessions during the day, at night time it looked fantastic. And well, enough of that, let's get on with the racing.
Alright, here we go then. We're in the car already, feeling comfortable. It's always funny abroad, you can always just drive in your t-shirt and drive in anything really. Sodis, can't be not comfortable in Sodis. They're such a good car, it's very adjustable as well. I always have the pedals really close, as you can see. I have the seat all the way forward. If you're not comfortable, you're not going to be fast, so that's why we do that. The track looks cool. The way that we're in the middle of Bangkok is really awesome as well. I'm not going to lie, I'm absolutely knackered. I was falling asleep, or I was asleep in the taxi. It took ages to get here, but we're here now. We're doing 3 sessions. Hopefully we can do alright. We just did a last minute kart change. Now we're over here. No idea why. Mind games have started already. Some people with their own gear on in our session, so.
Okay, so here we go then for TopKart Bangkok. A very picturesque track, it has to be said, and these are our very first few laps of the track, so we're trying to learn this track as quick as we can. I have to say, it did initially, as we went onto the circuit, feel a little bit intimidating, just with the tall skyscrapers, or the tall buildings, should I say, hovering over the track. You felt like you were being watched quite a bit. But yeah, and just before we went out on circuit, we noticed some drivers with their own kit going out on circuit. It looked like they were locals, so I was feeling the pressure a little bit. I was feeling like, wow, I'm going out first. I need to learn this quite quickly. And this is our first flying out there, first time doing these corners, and it was all coming at you very, very quickly. You know, this is a cold tyre, so I didn't have any confidence in the kart yet. We obviously know these karts very well. We drive them a lot in the UK. And in Singapore, we just drove the Singapore kart track before this. So, you know, we're very clued up with the karts, and we're in the zone a little bit, but yeah, just trying to get used to the corners, get used to the way it feels. You can see in a lot of areas where the corners have degraded, or the track surface has degraded in some places, and that really kind of unsettled the kart quite a lot. But you could see first lap out, fastest lap of the day. Not too sure who's been driving the track up until this point, but clearly they all waited around for us because, well, there's loads of locals in this one. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a time trial battle, if you like, and that's essentially what this is. Not a race, unfortunately, although this track does run Saudi World Series races. Now, I was gutted not to be able to do one in Singapore. I unfortunately left a few days too early to compete in that one. Unfortunately, no events here either at the time that I was there, which is a massive shame. I would have loved to have done a race abroad here in Asia. That would have been so cool to do a competitive thing of some sort. But you can see here we actually really struggled on our third lap there, and we actually didn't set a very good time at all. We actually went slower than our first effort, but slowly but surely we are starting to kind of get used to it a little bit more, and the tyres are warming up as well, so everything's kind of coming towards our liking, if you like. But there's some key areas like here, you can see where it really does bounce up and down quite a lot. Here as well, you can see it's really starting to annoy me. And but yeah, we do start to actually put our foot down. And these are quick fire sessions. They're only like 8-minute sessions, so but it feels long enough, I guess, if it's an uninterrupted session. You know, we've got very lucky. This is a tourist place, if you like, a tourist place to visit, because it's well, it's a holiday destination, isn't it? So yeah, most of the people who are actually driving are not Thai, although I believe the locals who are with me are, because they're locals and they've got all their own race kit. I believe they have the right names and everything. I'm not too sure, but it's great to have them there. Either way, you can see we've already set a 36.6, which is actually quite a decent lap time, as I found out. Yeah, I really enjoyed the track. It was very high grip. It did feel more like an indoor track, I have to be honest, because of how enclosed it felt. Yes, you don't get this lovely view all around, but the way the actual track was driving, yeah, it felt very like you couldn't make any errors. You can see we've already dropped down to second place, so the drivers, you can just see in the corner of our eyes as we're coming out of certain corners, you can see them there. We're not really dropping them at all. Actually, they're quicker than us. So we did manage to take it back there, but the driver managed to jump us again. So now we're really annoyed. We're trying to get some good laps, and you can see we did a 36.6 there. We did a 36.602 there. We did another 36.602 there. So we're just not actually able to beat this guy in first. And I was thinking, should I slow down? Should I see what he's doing, what lines he's doing, and learn from him? Because that's what you should be doing, really. But no, I wanted the challenge. I wanted to see if I could find the time on my own. You can see we're already a 10th up on the delta here. So looking pretty good on this lap in particular. And then we've got sector 2 coming up here, and looking on the delta again, 2 temps clear of our previous best. So yeah, looking like we're going to beat them on time. And this just shows how good the timing system is really with these Sodi wheels. You can see we set a 36.3 here, really good, fastest of the week. So yeah, I can't remember what day it was, but I think it was only a midweek day. But nonetheless, fastest of the week already in our session 1, which is great. And I think these sessions were only 8 minutes long, and we've only got a few more laps here. But these timing systems are great. The way they have the sectors, it was working very well. Yeah, I was very impressed, and you could really see whereabouts, how far back you were, whether you needed to take it easy on a corner, whether you needed to take it a bit harder. It was really cool. You can see we're 200ths behind on sector 2 here, but we have a brilliant last sector and managed to go do a 36.31 actually, which is a great time. And the other driver did actually try and fight back, and he did on the last lap get within a couple hundredths of us, but we managed to keep it. So we managed to beat the locals on our first 8-minute session, which was really good. And that was the last we saw of them. They actually didn't bother going out again until after I finished my 3 sessions, which I thought was quite funny, which was a shame anyway, because I would have liked to have driven with them a bit more, maybe have a little bit of a battle. Who knows what could have happened there. But we're in a different kart now. We're in session 2. We've got a kart with a different steering wheel. You can see, look at this futuristic thing. Look at the bottom there. Look at the way that's designed. It looks like I'm operating a spaceship of some sorts. It's still somewhat rectangular. I actually didn't notice it at the time. But yeah, a weirdly shaped steering wheel here. Not sure what's going on. But another challenge we like to set ourselves is what lap time can we do out the box. First lap, you know, we just about learned how the kart feels, whether it feels any different to the previous one or not. What sort of time can we get here? And you can see we're starting to really push the corners a little bit more. We're a bit more comfortable with where the track furniture is, and we're looking a bit more consistent, which is really good. You know, obviously I'm not running any weight for this, any ballast. It's a open session on a holiday. If you think I'm going to run any ballast, you are crazy. But actually quite a tidy first lap out here. I was actually quite impressed. Nonetheless, it was still cold tires, so it was a 36.5. Still a good time, you know, only 2 temps off our effort from the previous one. And this was with a cold car, obviously, but it's very quickly warmed up here. But this is the difference from session 1. We've now got a few more drivers who are not as quick, and obviously they act as a rolling roadblock, and that prevents you from setting a lot of good times. You know, the first session we got really lucky. We didn't actually overtake anyone, I don't think. You know, everyone was quite decent, but here you can see your typical open session where we're having to avoid drivers. Yeah, I think it's quite funny really. And you know, this track does feel quite narrow. Obviously in the UK we have a lot of narrow indoor tracks, so open sessions on indoor tracks in the UK is very challenging and very mentally draining. In fact, at least here there's a little bit more space to play with. It's petrol as well, so you can really kind of utilize the cutback, whereas you know, in electric karts, a driver who maybe doesn't know what they're doing can mess up a corner and still shoot out of it really well. Here you can see someone binned it in the wall, and the yellow flag system coming up on the systems here, automatically slowing our kart down. I have to be honest, it's a very good setup they've got here. You know, this is I think the most central kart track in Bangkok. So yeah, looking pretty good there in terms of the timing system, and the Sodi wheels working really well. The Sodi timing screens working really well. We're very happy with the setup here, and we're very comfortable. Like you can see these drivers ahead looking a bit ropey, they're smashing into each other. We're going to go down the inside and smash our way through as well. And this is just the consequences of having a narrow track. It's just going to get a little bit ropey at times. But we're just aiming to get away from that mess as fast as possible. But I think one of them gets binned into a wall, and I think that's pretty much expected really. We did try and set a quicker time. You know, we did try and challenge our session 1 time. Obviously we got a 0.3 in the first one, the aim really was to get a 0.2, to be honest. The absolute best times on this track was a 35, I believe, maybe even low 35s. Now that must have been with new tyres, fresh tyres, or maybe a track surface which hadn't fallen apart yet. But yeah, because there was no way you were going to get low 35s on this day. You could maybe get a 35 with the best kart and the best lines, but no. We could manage a few good times here. We didn't unfortunately get close to our 36.3. That's a shame. But you can see we're actually looking a little bit more confident in these areas, and through sector 1 we're already a 10th up on the previous lap, so we're getting there. You know, we started off out the box really well in session 1, and I think having those locals breathing down our neck kind of pushed us along a little bit more to learn the track a bit more. Did feel a little bit like a hot pursuit in that sense. And this was a good lap, you know, we were 10th up. Okay, so you're probably not going to get a PB, but yeah, the rolling roadblock. It's how it is. It's just, you know, this is an open session. I would love to have done a full-on Soli World Series race. I think that would have been really fun, weighted and everything like that, so no one could point the finger about the weight. But we're on to our third session now. Maybe on our third session we could try and beat our best lap time, 36.31. This kart was actually more difficult to drive. The handling wise, you could feel the kart was bent. You could feel that left-handers, the kart wanted to veer into the left-handers quite well, but right-handers was a little bit more difficult. A good job that this track is mostly left-handers, I won't lie. But it's just about trying to adapt to the machine, trying to see if we can get comfortable with the kart. Yeah, this is rental karting. You know, if you can drive around the issues, you can still get good times. In these moments, a lot of drivers kind of throw their toys out the pram here and kind of yeah, just accept defeat and be like, oh, this kart's rubbish, stuff like that. But actually, if you focus, you can really set some good times. But as you can see here, constant traffic, you know, yellow flags and drivers in the way. It's not something you can get annoyed about. This is a tourist destination. We're in an open session. To be honest, we've had it quite lucky already. But nonetheless, we are enjoying ourselves and enjoying the challenge. Let's have a look here. What time are we on now? 36.4, so better than session 2. But there, you know, as every session goes on into the evening, there are more drivers kind of blocking the way. Yeah, and you can see here as well. Actually, this driver you could see pulled over to left-hand side to let us through. Can you believe it? That this sort of thing is going on in these sessions. I was very impressed with that, actually. Tried to thank him, hopefully, or her. Hopefully they could see that. But this lap we were about 200ths off on the sector 2. Can we beat our time here? No, we can't. So still trying to find the time. And obviously it's not coming this lap, so every other lap is ruined. You know, in about 8 minutes you're getting about what, 14, 15 laps, so you are quite pushed for opportunities. You can see here we're trying to scare some drivers out the way, slam on the brakes, make a big squeaking noise so they move out the way, and actually did work. But we're totally focused on trying to get a good time here. And you can see again with the hopping around that corner, I was trying all sorts of things. I was trying to trail brake. I didn't want to rely on just the steering for that corner, because that was just guaranteed to cause it to hop. But you can see we are starting to look a bit more comfortable, and that was a brilliant first sector actually. You can see on the delta there, over a 10th up in the first sector already. So now we're just trying to keep that up. Nice tidy hairpin here on the right hander, nice easy left hander here, totally in control. We're really dialed in with the track now, and we've gained another 5 milliseconds in sector 2. Big times here, but we hop quite a lot in the third sector here, so it's going to be very close. Can we get our 0.2? No, we can't. We get another 0.3. That's a 0.338, so 200ths off our best. It was all about lap times in this. It was all about can we beat our time from the first session, and it was always going to be a tough ask because we had the locals kind of pushing us on, because we had a clear track for the entire duration. But overall, about the actual track, I thought it was brilliant. You know, they had a lot of space around, a massive car park. They must have used it for other things other than this kart track, because they've got so much extra space and hidden around the back. That would have been, for me, it looks like they could easily expand and make this a proper big track. But maybe I'm wrong. You know, I'm sure there's all sorts of planning permission issues and stuff like that, no doubt. But we're coming to the end here, and yeah, the session's done. we had a good time, and we're just going to finish with some closing thoughts. Right, hopefully you can hear me. I've decided to call it a day because a bunch of people who can't drive, that's no insult to anyone, by the way, you know, because it kind of stops your rhythm a little bit. That's why I really enjoyed the first session, because I could just keep going around trying to learn the track as quick as possible, and it turns out we did that pretty well. We kind of found the different areas which are catching us out, which is good. But look at this for a view. What a ridiculously good view that is. And you also got up here as well. So yeah, I'm kind of just enjoying myself up here, just relax. But yeah, otherwise it was a successful day. This is the first Thailand track we've done. Obviously we've done Japan, we've done Singapore already. So obviously if you haven't looked at them yet, have a look. Otherwise we're going to do another Thailand track tomorrow, hopefully, if all goes well. So far I've been pretty good with traveling around, getting around places. To be honest, the taxi app Grab is really useful, and it's quite cheap really, considering you're basically getting a private car, so it's not bad. But yeah, otherwise I'm just going to enjoy this for the next 10 minutes and probably head. And that was that. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video, enjoying the adventures abroad with me. We took a taxi back to where we were staying in Party Town. Take care, see you soon.